Let's dive into working with lists in build apps. We'll explore how looping works with JavaScript arrays and then compare it to performing similar tasks using low-code tool capabilities. Typically, the items in a list are of same data type. For example, all items could be numbers, strings, or objects. Leveraging formulas is an effective way to transform lists or their items as needed, ensuring they are transformed for display on the user interface. The repeat with property of an UI element needs a list to bind with. Usually, we bind it to a data variable that contains a list. For now, we'll bind it to a list that we will generate. We could use formulas to generate this list. To know which formula to use, we need to know the format of the input and the output data to display. Here, we need to display a number in each row as the output, and the input needs to be a list of numbers. The generate range function can generate a list of numbers with a given start and end number. Let's choose the binding icon next to the repeat with property and choose the binding type as formula. Use the generate range function and generate a list of numbers. Provide a start and end value. The possible results are shown enclosed in square brackets. Square brackets denote that this is a list. The current item of the list should be bound to the content property in order to display the value on the UI. We can achieve this by binding to data items in repeat current value. We can now save and preview the app. The app displays a list of numbers generated by the generate range function on the UI. Let's quickly understand how an object is represented before we look at another example. An object is indicated by curly braces and has multiple key value pairs. Here, make, model, and year are the keys, and Tesla, Cybertruck, and 2023 are the corresponding values. In order to print the model of this truck, we should use object name dot key, and in this case, it is truck.model to print the value of Cybertruck. Let's uncomment this line to see if the value of Cybertruck is printed. Let's now look at a list of objects. Here we have a list called cars with objects having make, model, and year as the keys. Square brackets indicates that it is a list and curly braces indicate that there are 3 objects in this list. If we have a list of objects as the input and we only want to show car models as the output, let's see how to do it in JavaScript. When we run a for each loop on the cars list and print the output, the individual car objects will be printed. If we want to display the model name, we should use current.model to display all the models in this cars list. Let's see another example now with the help of the popular OData Northwind service products entity. We can see the service has a list of product objects. The list is indicated by square brackets, which encloses a number of objects. Objects are indicated by curly braces. Each object has multiple key value pairs in it. For example, product ID, product name, supplier ID are the keys. 1, shy, 1 are the corresponding values. Let's drag and drop a text field onto the canvas and provide a list to the repeat with of the text field. The list to provide to repeat with in this case is data.products1. The current variable contains the current object within the list, and you can map to any key of the object that you want to display on the app UI, just like we did before. In this case, we want to display the product name from all the products. So we can bind the content of the text field to the current.product name. Let's preview the app and we see the list of product names display. We want to add a serial number to the displaying product names. To do that, we can modify the content of the text element, change the binding type to formula as it offers more options. We'll get the index value from repeated info.current and then add 1 to it because array indexes start with 0, and then we will separate the serial number and the product name with a dot and space. So we have to add it as a string. Let's save and preview the app. We can see the list of product names with serial number prefixed. We will take a look at three simple functions: slice, filter, and count. The product list contains 20 items in the list. And if you want to display the list only with first 5 products, we have to choose a function that allows us to do that. You can choose the binding icon of the repeat with property, which is bound to the data.products1. Change the binding type to formula, and from the formula editor, look for the slice function. Slice, as the name indicates, allows us to slice a list with a given start and an end index. The end index is not included in the new list that has resulted from the slice function. So, if we want to display the first 5 elements, we have to give the start index as 0 and the end index as 5. The end index is not included in the resulting list. Let's save and preview the app. The newly displayed list contains only top 5 items. Now let's say if we want to filter the list by some criteria, you have to go to the repeat with, change the binding type to formula, go to the formula editor, and look for a function that does filtering. We can see that there is a select function that allows us to do the filtering, provided we give it a list which is contained in data.products1. And the filtering formula that we will use is item dot units in stock. We want to use units in stock property whose value is greater than 40 to only show up in the list. Let's save and preview the app. The new list contains only 4 items because out of the 20 items, only 4 items have units in stock quantity greater than 40. Now we want to display a count of the number of items in the list. So to do that, we'll first remove the filter condition, display the full list, drag and drop a title field, and we'll show the count of the list as a formula along with the title products list. So products list is a text, and we have to append the text with a dynamic value, which is the count of the list. So we use a plus operator, use the count function, provide the data.products1, which is a list. Let's save it and preview the app. Now we can see that the refreshed list, which has 20 items, shows the count of list in the title along with the title products list.